Hello everyone and welcome to BSC News Live with my wonky camera. It's actually not wonky, it's flat and my room is tilted. Yeah, welcome to BSC News Live everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in at our new time of 7 p.m. UTC every weekday. Yeah, some quite interesting things that we're going to discuss today. Hardware wallet comparison, which we mentioned yesterday, between Ledger Nano X, Ledger Nano S, and also the SafePal. Going to be having a look at some more on-chain data and analytics there, and then also a look at what's gone on with Silvergate Corporation. I know a little bit about what's recently happened with Silvergate, but before the stream, Ben, we are talking a little bit about it, and I think you know the rules and regulations a lot more in America about filings and things. Would you be able to give us, in a tiny nutshell, easy to digest, what's happened with Silvergate?
So I don't know a whole lot about this, but from what I've read so far, it looks like they are not maintaining the proper ratios of like collateral within the company. So, there's like fractional reserve banking, right? Which means you can use you only have to have so much to back up like your liabilities and all that. And it sounds like they're out of whack. It looked like the company lost so let's start with where we are right now. They haven't filed or provided their 2022 filings yet, but there were like unofficial filings provided in January. And in those filings, they lost $1 billion last year. And that's not like $1 billion sounds like a lot but for big companies, it may not be. However, for them, like the year before, they profited 75 million. So I don't think they're that big of a bank. I could be wrong. But either way, it sounds like they probably, I don't know, how do they get out of whack with their reserve ratio? Probably giving money to the same set of clowns that got us where we are anyway, right? Where they lost everyone's money.
So that's what the Guardian have reported as well. People are concerned that they had too much exposure with FTX, and that's what the Guardian UK newspaper is saying there. I'm just going to bring up the chart for the stock of Silvergate. And viewers and listeners, you might be able to see that down the bottom right, it looks like a little glitch or something has happened, but no, that is today's trading. So it opened a lot lower than previously, and it's just gone down. I'm not sure if this is an unethical thing to say, but I think it looks quite funny, just having that tiny little down. And green on my charts, by the way, everyone, is down. And in previous episodes, obviously, we've been looking at this indicator as well, that normally is quite good. Buy signal down there, sell up there, and it's given a sell indicator here. So even this AI bot doesn't think things are going too well, and obviously it's clearly not. I mean, their all-time high around 240-ish, and at the moment it's trading at $6.28.
Yeah, and I think it's hard to tell this from your chart, because like the joke goes like your crypto that's down 90% could go down another 90%.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell this because of how high that stock once was, but the stock is down 50% in the last 20 hours or 24 hours.
Yeah. If we change the 15 minutes, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, like, it actually like doesn't look like the news impacted it that much if you look over the last year, but if you look at look at that gap because that was all. This came out after hours yesterday, so it dropped 50% and it's not coming back. I don't think. I mean, this is if you wanted to take your like high risk, almost like meme stock style trading, you could buy here and just hope you get like a quick pump. But it sounds like they're, it's not just bad news. It sounds like it's more like they are totally out of compliance. And I don't know if we want to get into this yet, but like all the crypto companies are severing ties like instantly with them, like Circle, Coinbase, Paxos. There's a couple others.
Understandably.
So, yeah, I don't think anyone wants anything to do with them. So
yeah,
you could potentially short this into the ground. Not financial advice, but we'll see what happens.
Often, when an event like this happens, so for example, FTX, Luna, that sort of thing, a lot of exchanges stop leveraged trading on those pairs just because, the open interest might be, well, not the open interest, so the funding rate might be ridiculous, but also, if it does go to literally nearly zero, the amount that, the funding rate of the other side would just be incredibly high, and it would just get a bit silly. I remember when Binance stopped leveraged trading for Luna. I'm not sure if positions were forcibly closed or if just stopped people opening new positions, but I assume when they have to sorry, that's a whole nother topic entirely. When an exchange has to stop leverage trading because I don't know, there's
let me know if you could see this. This is from Robinhood. Is it backwards?
It looks
basically like Robinhood already has a warning on elevated volatility. The stock has recently experienced elevated volatility. You may want to proceed with caution.
Okay. And could you use leverage trading there at all? Is that an option?
I don't know. I don't have a leverage account set up. I'm looking at like the options right now.
Okay.
Like if I wanted to take a gamble on it continuing to go down, it'd be pretty expensive to do so.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to. But yeah.
Yeah, I've got an eToro account as well. I'm just going to quickly try and log into that. But I haven't used it in, I think, years. So I don't know even if it's going to work. Oh, it has. Okay, so let's just quickly check on UK. Oh, no, it's giving me this whole questionnaire about how much I earn. So, sorry. Yeah. Okay, fine. So I'll just bring up on screen once again. Silvergate is obviously down a lot. Do you think that there's any hope of, this coming back and to normal or pre this news levels at all? Like if people are holding the stock at the moment?
It just depends who knows in terms of like where the price could go. I would just be curious to see if they even stay in business.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had a bunch of risk with like FTX was a foreign company. So if you're like a US bank with a lot of risk with foreign entities, I don't know. I just don't think regulators are going to like this very much.
No.
This is the type of crap they want to get rid of. And like before the show we were talking about it, I was already like getting mad. Like get these people just stop this nonsense. Like just be a bank. Like,
indeed.
on.
Yeah. So the Silvergate website is still
innovative.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, they're
wait. they were serving the likes of entrepreneurs like FTX, and they were maybe just as innovative as Sam Bankman-Fried and
Yeah.
Do Kwon. How innovative was Silvergate? I don't know. We'll find out. To be determined.
Mm.
I mean, it's just like if they lost a lot of money with FTX, this tagline is fucking hilarious.
Yeah, well, when I first saw the news as well, the word Silvergate, I thought it was referring to something called, like, I don't know, Silverbank or Silver something, and they just put the gate at the end because that's what news sometimes does, because it's an issue. But it's the Silvergate gate, and yeah, they are as innovative as SBF, Do Kwon. So congratulations. That should have been a very early warning sign. Yeah, but there's no, on here, if you lived under a rock and didn't do any research about Silvergate before using them, everything here looks fine. But we will see. Obviously, it's very early days with this Silvergate news, and we'll just see what happens. Do you know a place, perhaps, Ben, where we could see what other companies Silvergate is tied to, or what perhaps knock-on effect it could have?
Well, what I would be curious is, like, did anybody use Silvergate as like a bank, right?
Yeah.
Like, did they have, I don't know if they had like a retail wing. I kind of hope they didn't, because then you get into like the same thing that just happened. I think it looks like it's all commercial. So I'm not finding on their website like what companies they work with. Obviously they do. I believe they work with Kraken. Like if you do a withdrawal on Kraken, I think it's Silvergate that handles it. So
Okay.
I think they handle, and I don't know like who crypto.com uses.
Yeah.
Me, kind of just doing research here. And
well, hopefully, yeah. Well, people have got. Yeah. This is the thing. If for example, Kraken,
actually, like Silvergate is the funding provider for Kraken. That's on their website.
So do you know how this could affect Kraken?
Well, if you have USD in Kraken, who's custodying the USD? So not like a crypto, but like cash.
Yeah.
Is it being held by Kraken? And if it is that money still there? Right? That's what I would be worried about. So at any institution they worked with, were they the where's my cash at Kraken? That's actually a question I don't know. And this is actually the type of stuff that the SEC wants to clear up. Like, does Kraken hold my cash? Well, no, they're not a commercial bank. So they must use a commercial bank. Now, what commercial bank are they using? If Silvergate is handling all of the transactions, wouldn't it make sense for them to be the commercial bank that is supporting Kraken? Or Kraken is using? So then if you have USD in your account, where is it? Like, this is the type of stuff that we just don't know. Like, okay, I'm going to try to figure this out. At Kraken, where is your USD held?
And it's the same. So I use Binance largely to off-ramp GBP. And I often wonder, where does that GBP come from? But also, who initially is holding it at first? Is it under their custody? Someone else's? They use a third-party payment provider. Bonilla, welcome to the stream. If you've got any questions or anything at all, feel free to chat. Thank you for the comment.
Like, Tom, interestingly, like with FTX, it turned out a lot. Like if you tried to deposit, if you wired money to FTX, it was landing in Alameda's bank accounts. That's like some of the wire fraud stuff going on. So like with Kraken, and again, I'm not like trying to call Kraken out for anything. I have no idea, but they use Silvergate to on ramp and off ramp. And if I send cash there and I don't buy my crypto, where's my cash? Is it currently with a bank that does not meet reserve requirements and lost $1 billion? And
Yeah.
why don't I know? Right? So this is where the SEC would say, the fact that I actually can't answer that question and I'm searching and I like can't find it, like that's nonsense. It's just nonsense.
Yeah. So
You know what I
on,
mean?
I know. Yeah, it's
And I don't have any cash in Kraken, but if I did, I would be very worried about it.
yeah. So on Kraken's website at the moment, they've got a little bit about Silvergate. In inverted commas, bank funding provider. So for eligible US clients, Silvergate Bank provides a faster way to deposit or withdraw US dollars. Domestic US bank to US bank transfers are processed via Fed wire and take 1 to 5 hours to process during US banking hours. For eligible international clients, Silvergate Bank provides an alternative to US-only US dollar funding options. International transfers are processed via SWIFT and may require more time to settle. So hopefully, things aren't affected too much for retail customers of Kraken. But time will tell.
Okay, so MVB Bank is involved with Kraken. I don't, but I've never seen MVB. I don't know if this is older or not. But yeah, I guess I'm really curious to know, even maybe the same thing's true on Coinbase, like who's holding my cash if I have cash there? Who's custodying the cash?
Yeah.
They have to use a bank.
When I send GBP to Binance, I haven't done that in a long time, but where does it go? Who does it go to? I don't know. Bonilla, I can see you in the comments. If you know, let us know. That'd be very interesting. Is that actually no? In the UK, there is a way to find. Yeah, because all bank accounts have an account number and sort code, and the sort code should tell you what account, well, what branch or what bank it is. So I'll have a look.
Well, yeah, like because if I wired cash to exactly like FTX was Bonilla, FTX was just like pretending the cash made it there, but it was going to Alameda's pockets.
Indeed, yeah,
yeah. So, to your point, so if I'm using if I'm wiring from Bank of America to Silvergate, it's going to Silvergate. They're using Silvergate, right? Unless it's going to a third bank. But what would be the point of it going to a third bank? It doesn't make any sense for that.
Yeah. So,
so like, how could they have the fact that they are out of whack with reserve ratios means they misappropriated funds again. Not again for them, but just again, the same thing keeps happening.
Yeah. So the sort code. So Binance UK, if you're depositing, if you're depositing GBP, uses something called Skrill Limited. So you deposit it to a bank called Skrill Limited, and the bank itself is called Clear Bank Limited. Never heard of them in my life. And the branch is called Skrill Limited. And their
dude, I love Skrill Bank. They have the best checking account deals.
Is I don't know if that's a joke. Oh, it's a joke.
I've never heard. Yeah.
They've got a very generic address as well for the inner city in London, floor 27, 25 Canada Square, London, E14 5LQ, which is just the financial hub. Yeah, Clear Bank Limited. I've never actually heard of them as well. Yeah. So this is the bank that Binance use, Clear.bank. I wonder if they're regulated by the FCA. Oh, look, loads of people use them. eToro, Coinbase.
Yeah, well, Bonilla says Skrill is a well-known bank.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Right. It's probably internationally for me. Maybe it's a bigger European bank and not necessarily like England focused.
Okay. I mean, she looks like she's having a good time, so
yeah, it's not a stock photo. That's real. That's a real photo from a Skrill bank lobby.
Exactly that. Yeah, person opening an account. Yeah. There we go. So I assume that it's the same with Coinbase because they've got their Sorry, Ben, carry on.
Well, I'm just like I'm looking at Coinbase and I'm trying to figure out what bank do they use to hold the cash that's in my Coinbase account.
Nobody knows.
It's got to be somewhere. Like it's got to be written somewhere.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you do a bank transfer in the USA, is there a way to find out what bank it's going to? Because in the UK we have sort codes which tell you which branch of a bank essentially that it's registered at.
Yeah, I should. Maybe I need to do just a transfer. I'll do a deposit in the Coinbase and I'll look at that in my banking. I haven't done a deposit or withdrawal from Coinbase in a while.
Okay,
So I would just think it should be easy on the website to know who's custodying my cash when I deposit in Coinbase.
definitely. Yeah. This is the information for Binance and obviously Coinbase UK, eToro as well. They're all there. Doesn't really tell you much about them, but run by Clearbank and the branch is Skrill. There we go. I never knew that. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to find out, I know how to do it in the UK, but other places I'm not that sure. If you just start a deposit, so on Binance, I just went to deposit GBP, entered £1, click next, and then it came up with the details where I'd need to do the bank transfer. Enter the sort code into this website, which is sortcodes.co.uk. Obviously, it's going to be different for international viewers. There you go. You can find them. So Bonilla in the comments says Skrill is from the UK, and he says Skrill is used mostly for gambling.
Crypto, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and also I think you can request what intermediary bank or something. We'll look into it, Bonilla. Thank you very much. Good. Before we move on, Ben, is there anything else, even around the topic of Silvergate, custody of fiat? You have any thoughts, ideas about it all?
No, I think I've said them enough. It's annoying. This stuff's annoying at this point.
It is. But what do you think perhaps could change to remedy this sort of thing? More transparency, more regulation, or what do you think could solve it?
The thing that the thing that people seem to hate so much, which is regulation, which is the thing that's going to I agree. Crypto adoption will take a back step. However, this is forcing regulators' hands, which is ultimately good in the long term. Like, if you're more of a conservative investor and you really want to get in the space, but like lack of regulation scares you, which is probably a lot of very serious investors. Everyone complaining crypto shits, but the culprit is a shit bank. It's true. It's like with FTX, that's not crypto's fault, but it was like lack of oversight, lack of regulation in an entire like industry, right? So it'll be good long term, but in the short term, it's just really annoying.
Yeah,
like
big time.
Obviously people were trying to make they didn't just want to make million, they wanted hundreds of millions or billions in profits, and they took a lot of risk.
But that money, it didn't just disappear and just everyone lost. Some people would have won somewhere down the line. But where did that money that they made bad trades go? To other institutions?
Okay, so let's think about this. Let's think this through. I guess maybe someone's kind of a winner, but I actually don't think so, because like if Alameda was a huge loser, then who was the winner? Nobody.
Yeah, but then where did the money go?
Well, it was leverage, so a lot of the money didn't exist. So it's not like it was paper, right? So let's say Alameda has an investment worth $1 billion, because it's like levered up to that. You can't actually sell it. It's not like someone's buying that from them for $1 billion, right? They can't sell it. So most of this money didn't really exist. Bonilla, only to a point, because if most of the money is really the value was created via leverage, and there's no liquidity to like suck it back out, it just like it just falls apart. It's nonsense. Like out of the market cap of crypto, I forget how high it got, like 2 trillion, did it get to 3 trillion at the height of the bull market?
I'll check, but that sounds about right, I think. Yeah.
I bet 2 trillion of that 3 trillion was leverage.
Yeah. But does that count towards the total? Does that count towards total market cap, or is that a bit like an impossible question to answer? We'd need to talk to exchanges everywhere.
Bonilla, what? Give us your example. How did Alameda losing money? Who won off of Alameda losing money? It wasn't anybody in retail. It wasn't FTX. I guess it was Sam Bankman-Fried. He bought a bunch of property and stuff.
It could have been the interest rate of the other side of the short. Oh, I don't know. Yes. So Bonilla in the comments, thank you. So you said you're going to give us an example. Give us an example, sir.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how there's a winner. Like there doesn't actually have to be winners. Everyone could lose simultaneously.
But then where does that stuff go?
Well, some of it, okay, it could be new entrants, kind of. Okay, how about this? You could win, yes, if you didn't owe a bunch of other people money. So for example, Alameda could have won on a number of trades, but they lost a ton of money and they owed a ton of money. So like their debt and liabilities and the interest accrued and everything outweighs that's why they still go bankrupt, even though like they made billions of dollars, but they just lost more billions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
Because like think about it, they were basically in debt to the FTX user base, like $10 billion.
Yeah.
And then a lot of their investments were illiquid shitcoins on Solana. So they couldn't sell them. So what it looked like they made on paper, they didn't make in reality. Like they couldn't sell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were, you spend a lot of money. They probably had huge salaries. Like the individuals made a lot of money, right? You can run a company into the ground and still make tons of money in the process.
Yes. For example, rugs.
Yeah. You extract the value out and leave a worthless company in the wake.
Indeed. Well, Bonilla says they spent it on Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary still is backing SBF.
It's so annoying.
Yeah. And
it's like he doesn't need to. I don't get it.
And he's very anti-CZ and Binance. I find it personally, my personal view, I'm gonna, lightly say things. It frustrates me.
Well, like he went on like CNBC and was talking about how BNB chain is a worthless token because all you can do with it is use it to get discounts on Binance. And it's like it's just wrong. Like, so that's not even that's not like a bias. It's like, okay, you don't know what you're talking about, but you're like parading around like a crypto expert.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also like kind of like what Bonilla said, FTX was supposed to be the company that challenged Binance, and honestly, it could have been.
Yeah.
If they just operated as an exchange and not like a cracked out hedge fund, then they could have continued to gain ground on Binance.
Yeah.
It was what could have been, right? That's why like SBF was like, we could turn the exchange back on and make money. Cause he's like, he's not wrong. You could, you could do that.
Yeah. But the thing is like, how can people still take Kevin O'Leary seriously when he so strongly, so strongly backing SBF and FTX historically, you can understand. But now that everything's come to light and what's happened, and still supporting them, and then publicly slating their competition, it's just, yeah, I
just don't know why he bothers. Like,
no,
he's got, he has like 100 successful investments or whatever. Like, dude, like you don't need like to put yourself and talk about things you don't know what you're talking about, to be honest.
Maybe he just holds loads of FTT token and he just wants it to go back up.
He's got $20 million worth of FTT. So he would love for it to come back. Well, 20 million at the top. So it's worth nothing now.
Yeah. And what's good though, the bot, the indicator that we've been looking at, hasn't signaled a buy for FTT. So it knows it's dead. It's sold like right at the top. Look at that. And then, boom.
Well, did that candle show up because of, if you did that sell indicator come, which candle did it show up on? Oh, wow. Ooh.
I know. Yeah.
That was like a short to change the world. Although you could probably only short it on FTX and you couldn't pull your profits out. So it didn't matter.
Yeah. But win rate 100%, but there's only like 3 or 4 trades there. Yeah. Clever bot. Well done. Good. But yeah, I mean, what listeners, viewers will we'll follow more Silvergate Gate tomorrow. Bonilla, thank you.
It's actually Silvergate Gate is what it is.
It is, yeah. So for those listening, a few commenters, I'm just going to read some out. Main issue was that FTT was over leveraged. Yeah, of course. Yeah, happened to us all during the recent drop. Worst day of my life. That lost a lot. Anyway, they gave FTT and borrowed loads. Oh yeah, thank you, Bonilla.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They were like, here's our token, look at what it's worth because we own most of it. And if we don't sell it, the value is going to hold. Like they own like 90% of it or something. So they're just going to, so it looks like it's worth something because there's no one to sell it. So they're just going to go to projects and like use it with them. They're going to go to BlockFi and borrow money from BlockFi and give them FTT to hold because it's totally valuable, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a great move. Like they basically he tried to mimic what the US Treasury does in a sense, where he was like, like US Treasury is backed by confidence, basically, right? That's what the US dollar is. It's confidence.
Yeah.
And he basically was leveraging off FTT based on confidence in FTX, which is why once FTX started to fall apart, confidence was gone, FTT was worth nothing.
Indeed. And from the chart that we just had up, I don't know why do you know, Ben, why perhaps people are still trading FTT? Is it just for the sake of trading and gambling?
Yeah, it's just gambling. You hope to get a pump and then get out of it.
Yeah. What about Luna and Lunk? Is that the same sort of thing? I mean, there are plans for it apparently, but I sort of view that quite similarly to FTT.
Well, Luna, at the end of the day, like is a blockchain, and you can, and uses Luna like any other blockchain does. So if you get rid of the UST Ponzi part of it, there's developers there that want to like build the ecosystem, and Luna is the gas token.
Yeah.
Or that's what Loon C is. Luna, I'm assuming it's like the same thing, but the new version. I don't know if there's plans for that, but I was looking into like the Terra ecosystem, and like it still exists. Like there's people building and trying to launch projects, and
yeah,
I don't understand the point of a decentralized stablecoin, Bonilla. That's something we could talk about one day. But like, if people are like, well, yeah, the main concept was a decentralized stablecoin, but it turns out it's just a Ponzi scheme on Luna. And that was propped up by all the funds coming in from BlockFi, Celsius, and FTX.
Indeed. Yeah. Well, hopefully, well, we'll see. I think events like this, though, they do, well, force regulation to happen. And, you know, the more events like this, the more regulation will happen faster. And so, I mean, a cloud to a silver lining, perhaps.
Yeah, I think the banking part is going to get interesting. This is probably where the regulation will come. And actually, Bonilla mentioned this. Banks want the regulation because then they can work with it, right? Banks can't touch it if it's not regulated. So the regulation will come, and then the big banks will get involved after all these little banks failed, basically, because they weren't run right, basically. So
Indeed.
it's all coming. The regulation will be good. It lets the big institution that we can trust come, like TD Ameritrade, Bank of America, JP Morgan. They're gonna eventually support crypto one way or another, and they just have to wait for the regulation.
Yeah. Indeed. Moving on to a slightly more cheerful subject now, which is looking at different hardware wallets. I know it's a complete different change of subject. This is a question for you, Ben. So I've loaded up another camera. Can you see on the left-hand side that other camera at all, or not? Fantastic. Good. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever on stream live, there is another camera in the house. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, while I was setting that up,
Bonilla says just no.
It did look a bit strange. However, I thought perhaps this could be good, a nice sort of close-up way to view the different hardware wallets we're going to be looking at. You might be able to see that this one, it looks a little bit dirty, but that's actually clean. My cleaner, very kindly of her, cleans my SafePal every week with a cloth, which is very kind. So the wallets that we're going to be looking at today are the SafePal, which you can see there, the Ledger Nano X, and also, 2 seconds. Oh no, that's fine. Thought I lost it. That would be bad. And the Ledger Nano S. Ben, you use a hardware wallet. What do you use?
I have a SafePal. My primary go-to is Ledger Nano S.
Okay. Have you tried the Nano X?
I haven't. Is it the same thing, just with a screen?
No. Good question, though. So the Nano X, so this one, has Bluetooth, which you can use with your phone. So with my phone, what I've got is a cable. 2 seconds. So with a Ledger Nano S, what you'd need to do if you wanted to attach it to your phone and use the Ledger app on your phone is use a cable like this and just plug it in. Yeah, USB-C there, a micro USB, and sort of have it dangling out your phone, which is fine. Or you can use the Nano X, which has a battery in it, as you can see, completely wireless, and the screen's still on. And yeah, you can do it like that. What is good about the X as well that I've found is these huge buttons. So these are the 2 buttons that you use. On the S, obviously, there's the 2 buttons at the top, and it's very fiddly and tiny. I mean, it's not really a big issue at all. But I found these 2 big buttons either side just make it, hold on, I'm just going to cover up my pin, make operating the Ledger a lot easier. And I didn't think that would be such a big deal for me, but it is. And it's very useful indeed.
Interesting.
One thing as well with the Bluetooth, I'm just going to enter my PIN quickly. Sorry, I can't.
I would assume you could Bluetooth. Could you Bluetooth it to your computer? Because, obviously, my headphones are attached to my computer via Bluetooth.
Great question. No. Yeah, so that's the thing. So I thought when I got this that I'd be able to connect it to my computer via Bluetooth, but I can't. So it's still tethered to my computer. sorry, my device, whenever I say the C word, comes on. That's it's like, so sorry that you heard that then. So yeah, you can't connect it to your computer via Bluetooth, which is a little bit frustrating. And I don't know why you can't. It shows up as a Bluetooth device, but yeah, you still need a cable for it. But one of the advantages as well, with the Nano S, you're limited. Well, the old Nano S, which I use, and I'm sure a lot of other people do, the number of apps that you have on it. So if you look at the X here, I've got lots of different blockchains. So, you know, Bitcoin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can only put like 3 on the Nano S.
Yeah. This is the thing. So with the S,
But Ethereum handles most of what I do, right? It's all the EVMs.
yeah, yes. So I've got, you know, Ethereum there as well. I've also got Zaquilla, BSC, Polygon. These are EVMs, Dogecoin, and also the Crypto.com, not the Crypto.com, sorry, the Ledger Exchange on there, which is useful as well for my Banks card, which we looked at yesterday, the Ledger CL card. Also, 1-inch swap on the Ledger, so you can sort of do that on the move within the app. Paraswap as well, and then yeah, everything else. So there's a lot of things that you can do. Well, yeah, the storage is a main selling point for it. Because with the S, I found I'd have maximum like 3 apps at any one time, normally sort of Bitcoin, XRP, and Ethereum. And then I'd have to, you know, get rid of one to add another. And it just got quite fiddly. But with the X, you can add loads, which is quite nice.
Interesting.
But they have updated the S recently to a more sort of, well, aesthetically pleasing design. Is this the version that you have, Ben?
Mine's, I don't have any yellow.
Unlucky.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing.
Yeah. So they've actually updated the Nano S. I'll show it to you 1 second. So the Nano S now, it's called the Nano S Plus. 2 seconds. There it is. Yeah, so it's very similar, but there's slightly more storage, and it's just sort of an updated design. And I don't think you can get the old S anymore. So this is the Nano S Plus is the new Nano S. One product, though, that I'm really looking forward to is this. Have you seen this, young sir?
Ledger Stacks.
Yeah.
I have not.
So essentially it's a ledger, but it's got a screen on like that.
$250.
Yeah, but you can view your NFTs
Sexy.
and you can stack them like books.
It's like a little computer.
Yes,
and you can put them on top of each other.
Yeah, and look, hold on. And why they're called stacks is, yeah, you can do that. You know,
I mean, I can stack other things. I can.
Yes, but they're not stacks.
I can stack multiple Ledger's boxes on top, Nano S boxes on top of each other.
You could, but they wouldn't have spines that you can customize.
It's true.
So with a Ledger Stacks, it's an e-ink display. So it's not like, you know, real-time digital color phone display. And you can have your NFTs as, you know, the cover picture. But I don't know why you'd want more than one. Well,
if you wanted to, Bonilla's about to send you a link.
Oh, okay.
I understand having more than one. Like if you have a business one, you have a personal, maybe you want to set your kids up with their own ledgers. You know, at a $50 price point, you can do that type of stuff for your family. At a $250 price point, seems a bit excessive. However, you can stack them.
Yes.
And, you know, you can't put $200 to stack is well worth it.
Yeah. So it's like a book collection. So that's $1,000 right there.
Yeah.
of Ledger stacks. Hold. I'm just going to see how many apps it can hold. So I assume it's as much as the
If you
X.
got multiple SafePals, by the way, here's the BSC News SafePal.
Hold on.
I bet you could stack them.
Yes, yeah, you could. Yeah. So with that, yeah, the BSC News SafePal. So this is SafePal, and it's very, very different to Ledger devices in pretty much every way. I'm just going to give it a quick rub, and then you'll see the genie come out. No,
I do like it. It's just a little slower to do transactions. So like if you want to do a bunch in a row, it's not really intuitive for that, in my opinion. Because you gotta like scan the thing on your phone and then scan, it's kind of there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, but that's one of its sort of.
If you connect it to your computer, does that work? I've never tried.
Yeah, so there's a Chrome extension as well, which is very useful, and you can use that essentially just like a MetaMask. So it's good. But then, for instance, just turning it on just then, that took maybe 10 seconds, whereas Ledger, it's just available right away. You do have to enter the PIN for a Ledger, but it's just if you are doing multiple transactions, that ease of use can be quite handy. So it's come up with this scan button, and what the SafePal has is a camera. And the camera, its primary use, its only use, is to scan QR codes. And you can see, there you go, credit card size. You can't take a picture of yourself and send it. All it does is just scan QR codes. Obviously, if you aim it at something else, it will pick that up, but it's not a camera device. And what's good about that is that it's completely air gapped, so no information whatsoever is sent from the device to your other device. So from the SafePal to your phone.
Very secure, correct?
Yeah, that's the thing. So like with a Ledger, obviously you connect it via USB or you connect it via Bluetooth. Theoretically, that's hackable. Very, very theoretically. Probably be incredibly difficult, but with a SafePal, you can't, hack through a camera. There's no way to get on to someone's SafePal. You tether it first of all by using a USB, so you can connect it via USB to a computer, and that's how you set it up. That's how I set mine up. But then when you're using it, you just scan using a camera. And what we'll do as well, if you go to Asset Management, you can see all the chains there. So at the moment, I've only got BNB and Matic there. I know, sorry, it's a bit out of focus. But yeah, you can have a lot of different coins, chains there as well. I think a lot more than the Nano S. So the memory and the number of chains that you can actually have on the device is a lot more than a Nano S. I'm not sure about the X, because the X, as you can see, lovely. But yeah, I mean, it's not as thin as a credit card, but it is credit card size. So you could carry it around in your pocket. And yeah, every time you'd want to do a transaction, you do need to use the camera, scan the QR code, Bob's your uncle. Oh, and also, yeah, if I wanted to send crypto to someone, I'd scan the QR code of Ben's address and just do it like that. So yeah, it is a very good, clever thing. But I do wonder, is there going to be a SafePal 2 coming out? Because it's starting to not get dated, but it could be a bit more cool. Not cool, but yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
There you go. So that's comparison between SafePal and Nano. SafePal is also very affordable. I'm just going to quickly bring up their website because we saw that the Ledger Nano S cost around £70. The Nano X, I think, is around 150 over here. But then SafePal, Oh, actually, sorry, I've already got the tab up. Here we are. So this is a SafePal website. And we can... Oh, I thought they'd released a new product there. That'd been very exciting indeed. So the hardware wallet costs less than all Nanos, which is, yeah, very affordable. So it's the most affordable out of them all. And in my opinion, it's probably got the most... Well, it does have the most features. Full color screen, no Nano has. A camera, which obviously you don't need in a Nano. Yeah, and it's very, very affordable, which I think is a great starting place. So it's, you know, all have pros and cons. No one's better than the other one. And yeah, I mean, if you're looking at getting a hardware wallet, the choices are yours. And I want to get a Stacks. Just one.
Just one stack.
Exactly. Singular. Yeah, so that was my overview of a few different hardware wallets. We should be able to review another hardware wallet shortly called a Keystone, which I've never used before in my life. I've also actually never used a Trezor, which are quite popular. Have you used the Trezor hardware wallet at all, Ben?
I have not.
No, me neither. But yeah, we should be getting our hands on soon a Keystone hardware wallet, which will be very interesting indeed. We'll be able to, yeah, look at that with our third camera. Good. Have you got anything else, Ben, before we move on? Or okay, fine.
No, that's all I've got for today, I think.
Fantastic. Bonilla said it's not recommended to carry these around in pockets. Try and stop me. I carry mine around in many pockets. Tomorrow we have Froggy Friends on the stream, which should be very exciting indeed. If you'd like to look them up, you're more than welcome. Just type in Froggy Friends into Google and they're pretty much the first result there. It's an NFT collection. I'm not going to say too much more, but yeah, they're very, well, they're very big. So that should be very interesting indeed. It's been a while since we've had a guest on, and yeah, looking forward to it in a lot. We'll also put a schedule for next week's guest up shortly as well. But yeah, I look forward to seeing everyone for Froggy Friends. Ben, anything else before we say ciao mao? Okay.
Nope. That is
Fantastic.
it from me.
And that's it from me as well. But thank you very much, listeners, viewers, once again for tuning in. Bonilla, as always, thank you for your participation. It's great to have you here. Brilliant. See you all tomorrow, everyone, at 7 p.m. UTC with Froggy Friends. Looking forward to it. I'll wear my frog mask for that as well. Anyway, bye-bye, everyone. Trade safe. And do not invest what you can not afford to lose.